A very good evening, distinguished Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests. Welcome, welcome, welcome to meeting number 11 of the Gabbys Online Advanced Toastmasters Club. Welcome to this wonderful power-packed meeting full of learnings, speeches, and evaluations. I am Toastmaster Priya Singh, your Sergeant at Arms for today's session. Before we begin, I would like to highlight some important guidelines that will help us enjoy a smooth and productive meeting. Our meeting today is for approximately 2.5 hours, I would say, a little over 2 hours. And it's going to be important that, and I encourage all of you all to stay with us till the end of the meeting to get maximum experience and benefit out of it. Please ensure that your videos are on and audio is off unless you are speaking during the meeting. This will help us maintain a very focused environment. While Toastmasters International does not have any restrictions on speaking on sensitive topics like sex, religion, and politics, here at the Gabbys, we request all role takers, participants to ensure that they are mindful and refrain from any controversial opinions on these specific topics. At the Gabbys, we stand by a club mission that is to create a supportive and positive learning environment where members are able to build leadership and communication skills, resulting in increased confidence and personal growth. So today's theme is treasures beyond currency. And let me start this meeting with a small inspiring poem on this theme, treasures beyond currency. The rarest gems are priceless, never sold, shaped in silence and love, not in gold. A tender glance, a soul set free. These are the gifts to value indeed. The warmth of love that doesn't fade, a promise fulfilled, lovingly made. The peace that comes when hearts forgive. These are the ways we truly live. No fortune can match this invaluable treasure of kindness, care, love, which are beyond measure. For when all the wealth is said and done, it's how we loved that says we've won. With that, I now would like to hand over the virtual stage to the presiding officer of today's evening, none other than Toastmaster Samita Kar. She is a 3-time Triple Crown Award winner. She has completed 3 pathways and regularly represents the club at area level contests. She's a dynamic soft skills trainer with a dream to empower women leaders. She boosts confidence, communication, and careers. An avid storyteller, passionate traveler with her suitcase full of stories. So let's all welcome Toastmaster Samita Kar, the presiding officer of today's evening.
Thank you. Thank you.
Together for Toastmaster Samita Kar.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let us hear it for our Sergeant at Arms who starts the meeting not only right at time, but every single time comes up with such lovely poem according to the theme. Well done. So today's meeting, exciting one. I am sure everyone is waiting for this meeting today. First, I declare the meeting number 13 open. I welcome all the members of our club, any visiting Toastmasters, and guests that are present in our meeting today. I would love the guests to drop in their introduction in the chat section. From where did you get to know about a meeting? and do stay till the end. That is when we will take a feedback of the meeting. For the interest of the guests, those who are not Toastmasters, very quick information about this Toastmasters platform. It was started not 20, not 30, not 40, but 100 years ago. It was started in 1924 by Dr. Ralph S. Smedley. He had started this with an intention of promoting public speaking and leadership. It is a non-profit educational organization. Our clubs operate worldwide. It provides a very supportive environment for members to practice and refine these skills through regular meetings, giving speeches, evaluating, taking leadership roles, and making themselves better every single day. I know I would love to go on talking about Toastmasters, but today we have our educational sessions and we have our speeches. All of us are waiting for it. Of course, not to forget the evaluation. But to take this meeting forward, I will be inviting someone who is a fitness enthusiast by passion and a marketing analyst at Sanofi, Hyderabad, with 4 years of work experience. He has returned to Gabby's to continue his public speaking journey. And in his free time, he loves to work out, spend time with his pet and family. Let's give a round of applause to our Toastmaster of the day today, Toastmaster Rahul Son. Over to you, Toastmaster Rahul Son.
Thank you very much for the warm introduction, Presiding Officer Samita. And a very good evening to all of the Toastmasters who have joined this meeting today. Today, as the theme suggests, that treasury beyond wealth. First of all, I would like to ask you guys and put the ball in your court. What do you think? What it could mean to you? Like, what's the treasury which is beyond the currency, be it money, dollars, rupees or yen, whatever. What do you think in your heart? What is the real treasury apart from all this paper currency? Anyone?
I can go.
Yeah, I can see raise of hand from Toastmaster Renu Kaushal. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, I would say friendships. That's again a treasure.
Amazing. Exactly. So I can see evaluator Ritu.
I
Yeah,
think your
you can go ahead.
values are
Values.
your biggest treasure, your belief system and your values. These are your real wealth.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love this. Toastmaster Sachin Jaswal.
I think that's a good karma, which is a real treasure, because once we die, we don't carry the wealth with us. But the good karma goes with us in our next life also.
Awesome. I think you hit the well in the right way. So I think definitely karma is one of the main thing which cannot be bought or cannot replace money, because karma is always going to hit you back. Whatever you do, you will get. There's a saying in Hindi, jaisa karoge waisa bharoge. So I think that's I really love the point which you have given over here. And yes, so I feel that yeah, friends are important, money is important, but it cannot buy friendship, as said by Toastmaster Reno. And then um, we also cannot buy values as well as the karma. But beyond that, there are seven or eight things which we cannot get from the currency or money which we have. This is the real wealth which we cannot buy, and that is first, that is self growth. You know, when you truly know that you are every single day getting better and better at your maybe personal work, professional, or by yourself, uh, probably physical or mental, but someone who knows that that person is getting somewhere and always improving, then that person is actually living their life, which cannot be just bought by money. You see, that growth which comes within fills you up with feeling of fulfillment, and that's when you feel that you are truly living. Also, another pillar is health. Everyone knows it, and everyone has heard everywhere that yeah, health is important, but how many of us are really working towards our health? Did we ever notice that we can accumulate as much wealth as we can, but once your health is gone, probably you suffer with god forbid you don't, but if you do suffer with some chronic disease, it's very unlikely to be replaced by the money which you have already gathered. Third thing I would say is wisdom, and this aligns with the one of the evaluator which said that wisdom basically, um, it's also the values which we carry, and wisdom always accumulates with time. Whether you have uh, you know whether you have the uh, basic understanding of things, but when you apply your wisdom, you are able to think clearly, and wisdom helps you always to take sound decisions. And another thing which money cannot buy is spiritual fulfillment. It's very important in today's world to keep your conscience right. If you know that you are doing right things in your life, then it will never lower your confidence. And you know that your conscience is true, then you will have the confidence of, you know, um, a high professional CEO level. Okay, so I will let you know all the other points as well as we continue to the meeting. But first, I would like to play a small game with you. So I will throw out some scenarios to you guys, and
JMOD, Rahul, sorry to
yeah,
interrupt you. Can we
sure,
continue with the can we continue with your activity in the second half, like after the educational speech?
sure.
Right? Thank you.
All right. So, so we have today an educational speaker, and I would like to introduce the speaker for today. His name is Peripi Balasubramaniam, and he's a seasoned financial advisor with over 30 years of experience in the area of finance. As an expert in the area of investment strategy and mutual funds, I would like to, without further ado, invite him and hand the stage to educational speaker Perepi. Over
Uh,
to you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me immense pleasure to be part of Gabby's. This is my first event with Toastmasters. I have been invited by Saurav Datta, and uh, this is my first experience with Toastmasters. And when he told me about a session like this, I was more inclined. And when I saw my introduction of 30 years of experience, I said it's 25 years of experience and 5 years in college, right? So I would try to probably split that. 3 years of grad, 2 years of college and masters, and then 25 years of work, right? So then I should consider myself 30 years of experience. And today, when this entire conversation started, uh, the point that caught to me was karma, right? And if you look at it, being a finance guy, okay, typically what I start looking at is numbers, right? So that is one aspect, which is your opening balance, which nobody knows. Everyone comes with an opening balance. Everybody comes with a karma opening balance. That opening balance is not known to us. A very few enlightened souls over a period of time in the early stages, they realize why they are here, and they change the course, the way they live. But as laymen, mortals, we try to continue our lives, and we don't know the way we keep accumulating. Okay, there are good deeds, there are bad deeds, right? Uh, uh, in zodiac sign, I think the sign of Libra tries to, what I learn, I'm not an astrologist, but what I look at is the fine balance that needs to be there for every individual. You need to make sure that your do's and don'ts somewhere, if they match, you're fine. I think that's the best that we should be able to do. So, to just give you a brief introduction, this session is absolutely not here to solicit any business. This is my 25 years into the industry. I've worked with banks, financial institutions in the past. Last 10 years, I've taken up, quit the system and wanted to do something which I like and which a system was not allowing me to do. And I also take this from what Rahul said, looking into somebody with complete trust. I should be able to look at someone when I am doing my business. I should not for a moment bend down or bow down, not look into eye to eye when I'm dealing with money. And when it comes to money, it is trust. The foundation is trust. So over a period of last 10 years or last 25 years of experience, I've been able to manage clients up to third generation. Grandfather is a client, son is a client, grandson is a client. We started doing financial planning for someone when the kids were in school, and today the kids are working. So they are my clients today. So that is how it is. And we are proud to say that Utkarsh Mutual Fund distributors have not got into any LinkedIn, Insta, or any of the social marketing platforms to get into clients, but it's word of mouth and the work that we have done over a period of time that has enabled us to be here. So as part of today's session, I see people from various backgrounds, but what I would want to do is, again, just try to brush upon fundamentals. I think over a period of time, fundamentals are something which we all forget, because when we progress, the basic fundamentals are lost. So predominantly when we try to work with clients, we go back to the drawing board, we go back to fundamentals, and uh, the time given to me, I will try to see how I can cover something with related to financial planning, mutual funds, and how uh, this simple vehicle called mutual funds will enable each one of us to get closer to our goals. Uh, I'm sure everybody here would have heard about a campaign that has been going over a period of time, Mutual Fund Sahi Hai, right? There's a lot of noise that has been happening over a period of time, thanks to SEBI, the regulator, AMFI, the association that has been working. The way I would like to take up today is that in terms of a small, I just worked out something in terms of how do I uh, get to this meeting. And when Saurav told me that there are certain things that you need to cover, I said, fine, let me make it very crisp. Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, in this room, I can broadly classify uh, people into three groups. I see young people, 20 to 35 years, 35 to 60, and 60 plus retired. Okay, somebody who's closer to retirement. So when we try to meet clients, we try to put them in broadly in three baskets. Okay, this is called the investor life cycle. So the first stage, that is 20 to 35, because today you have young entrepreneurs who start very early. So 20 is quite a I have clients who started to earn at 20. So this is a stage of accumulation. The stage of 20 to 35 is a stage of accumulation where you have long time until your retirement. Your ability to take risk is better. Your focus should be towards growth. The next stage is a stage called a preparation stage, 35 to 60. Investors in their peak earning years will have a greater capacity to save and invest. This is a phase where goalposts in your lives keep changing and you have good earning capacity. And this is the phase that we have been focusing predominantly on, is where there is high chances of somebody to do mistakes. So this is a stage where you need to make sure that you are guarded well. You take decisions with common sense, uh, and that will help you go a long way. And the final stage is a retirement stage. This is a stage where you have money or you have reached yourself to a certain point, and you need to make sure that you're managing yourself. So that is a stage in when it comes to retirement. So I will just start with certain basics in terms of, we call them certain rules. There is a rule called 50-30-20. Okay, there's a rule called 50-30-20. This is how you probably have to manage your income. 50% is for needs. That is your rent, EMIs, if you have an education loan or a two-wheeler, groceries, utilities. 30% is for savings. That is, these are your investments, emergency funds, long-term planning, goals, retirement, all of these fall in the 30%. The 20% are wants. They are predominantly your lifestyles, your hobbies, right? And these are short-term goals. And one important thing is predominantly you need to make sure that you keep at least 6 months of your expenses as your predominantly in terms of your emergency fund, as your emergency fund that should be available. So this is how you need to manage your money. And everybody in this room have credit cards. I have worked with banks, so I have seen how banks look upon credit card customers, right? You make sure that there are some credit practices that somebody should follow. Always pay your bill in full. Never pay them in parts because you'll end up paying huge interest. Make sure you keep your utilization of your credit card limit up to 40% of your limit. That's one of the best sweet spots to be in. Okay. Use your credit card to build your credit score, your credit worthiness. That's the first step. And this is a step where everybody will fail, but make sure that keep this happening. Make sure you keep your credit utilization limit well within 40% and pay bills on time so that your credit score doesn't get affected. And we are getting into Amazon sale, Navratri sale, all those things happening now, right? Try not converting all your bills into EMIs. You never know how do you get caught in those vicious circle of payments and payments and payments. Because today, the market tempts you to take these offers to get into it, right? The next important thing for everybody at a certain stage of life is EMIs. I think everybody here in this room, somewhere at some point, would have got hit in terms of or a part of the cycle of EMIs. Make sure that your EMIs are below 40% of your monthly income. Okay. Next, if you have high interest loans, please consolidate them with lower interest options. prepay loans whenever possible to reduce your interest burden. And one thing which I have seen some clients who come into the trap and get back to us in terms of getting them out, avoid over leveraging on multiple loans. Because they're giving you loans, you try to take up. I'm sure people must be thinking, Bala has come here to speak about financial planning, mutual funds. What is he speaking about? But friends, these are the fundamentals, because you can't get into the step of investing or saving if you don't have this discipline in place. You need to be a kindergarten student, ABC, school, college, and that's how the progression is. It can't be an inverted pyramid, right? You need to make sure that you go through the steps. And one thing which I tell without hesitating to my clients and friends is that there are two risks which are available which you need to cover yourself. One, you kick the bucket. Two, you hit the hospital bed. The second one is very, very important. As Rahul said, health is very important. The same way, the moment you hit the hospital bed, the first thing in the hospital is they'll not ask you, "Bhai, तुम्हारा क्या problem है? Insurance है क्या?" The first question is, insurance hai kya? It is not what problem. Diagnosis is later. Okay, so make sure that you have a sufficient health insurance. Because when we come to do financial planning, there are two risks, as I said. Kick the bucket, and fine. And please understand, there might be people who might get offended here or whatever is it, or might have a different thought process. But from childhood, LIC is something which got engraved into our DNA. 90% of the LIC policies in the country are sold by uncles, aunties, friends, neighbors, colleagues. Okay. And the question of insurance has been missold for a very long time. What you need to have is a term insurance. This topic might not suit somebody, but for the youngsters here, humble request is please have a term insurance. You do not have to have money back policies. I'm sure whoever is in this room have a two-wheeler or a car. If you can insure your car and a two-wheeler, why not yourself? Fortunately, your car or a two-wheeler will have spare parts. आपका spare part नहीं मिलेगा. Please make sure that you have a proper term insurance to cover yourself. If our karma balance is perfect, you might just close your eyes and leave. But if karma plays its own role, if it makes you roll on the bed for a very long time, right? The family is the one who's going to take the brunt. So make sure, I have seen cases practically where the family has borrowed money, citing that my husband has a policy which is in force. I'm trying all my best to save him. If he kicks the bucket, money is short for you. I have seen cases, so this is a lot of personal experience I'm saying, because I have been in this for the last 25 years. And my first case when I joined my career was a death claim, right? So Bhagavad Gita speaks about death in beginning. The Bible speaks about death. So I think my learning started with death, and then where it was a full life cycle of learning. So make sure these two are covered. And next, I would say, make sure that you have a good health insurance. Make sure that the rising costs, COVID has taught us a lot of lessons, right? From work from home, right? Work from home, which is going off soon, right? COVID has taught a lot of lessons to us. And that is a time where importance of insurance was also taught. So start your journey by making small plans. Okay. Have milestones. Because when we speak to clients, we say money has to be invested specifically for a purpose. Everybody remembers here where you go and ask your mother for pocket money, she finds a dabba somewhere that money is stashed where she will remove and give it to you. Because we seldom go ask dad, right? Strict man in the house. So we go ask our mom. So she finds a place where money is kept. That's her emergency cash. She used to do asset allocation those days. The principle, what we learned today, she used to do asset allocation those days. She knew what money has to go where. She had one pot of money, but she had 4 places to keep it. And she knew how to manage it. So our mother is a first teacher for us in all aspects, even finance. That is what I believe in. So make sure that you have goals in place and allocate money separately for a separate goal. You can't take your retirement money and go on a holiday. You can't take your kids' education money and buy a car, right? So make sure you find that strict discipline and have goals aligned and invest according to the goals. That will take you a long way. And make sure when you start your careers or at some point start thinking about retirement. Some of my clients have asked, सर अभी शुरू हुआ है, फर्स्ट सैलरी अभी निकली नहीं है, अब बोल रहे हैं रिटायरमेंट के बारे में बात करो. I'm sure in this room there are a lot of people who might not look at 58 as a retirement, but 42, 45. You ask somebody, the young boy who is there, he might say, sir, 30. My only question is 30 के बाद अगले 50 साल कैसे जियोगे? That's more important. So make sure you start early. And to just give you a few minimal examples, okay, when you want to invest, broadly, low risk, everybody knows we are born with these items in terms of low risk items, RD, FD, LIC policies. These are low risk items. And we always like straight line. We don't like fluctuations. The only thing which fluctuates is when you put a BP meter to our hand and look at a bank balance, fluctuate hota hai big. That is when the graph fluctuates between the month. So make sure that you invest your money in different brackets. There's a quote, not many millionaires are made who invest in fixed deposits. Okay, so make sure that I would not say traditional investments ideas are bad, they are good, but they were suitable at that point of time when you did not have options. I'm sure I would not call them elderly people, but I'm sure what fees I paid for my entire education, I probably paid that for a kindergarten for my daughter, right? I paid 5 rupees per month. I'm a Kendra Vidyalaya student, so I know once in 3 months you pay 15 rupees and the fees is done. So I paid the maximum fees of 300 rupees for my 10th standard. So cost of living has gone up. So you have to make changes the way you start looking at. Please look at moderate risk items where you have mutual funds is one of the best vehicles. Today, this is one vehicle that gives you an option to invest from absolutely low risk to high risk. It has options for investments for overnight, 15 days, 1 month, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, up to retirement. You have a lot of options. And make sure, I'm sure most of us would have seen Harshad Mehta's Scam movie. Okay, one of the dialogue is there, risk hai to ishq hai, right? So risk reward ratio is always there. You need to play that risk. And for all the youngsters in the room, try to play the risk when you're young because you have the ability to earn. Okay, so you should not take that risk when you're at 55. Like Rahul said, Rahul, I can hit the gym, do a bench press, pull off a marathon now. At 60, 65, I don't think so. I should start. If I'm training for the last 20 years, I can continue because my body is used to it. My mind is used to it. But if I try to do it at 70, then I'm running a risk. So we don't want our clients to get into the risk of taking the wrong steps at that point of time. So start early. The best thing is to start early. Try to invest regularly. Okay. I think we learn a lot of concepts, but when it comes to practice, there are small things. Invest regularly is equal to जब से स्कूल शुरू हुआ है फर्स्ट स्टैंडर्ड से बेटा हर रोज पढ़ा करो, right? Not only exams. If anybody can understand Kannada here, there is a saying Yuddha Kale Shastra Abhyasa. Okay, so before the exam, you try to go and study and say, मैं तोड़ फोड़ के आ जाऊंगा. No, but you study regularly. Same way, invest regularly. And also, one of the most important thing is that start small. Start small, okay? You can start increasing as you go ahead. And also, please pick up plans based upon your investment objective, your risk appetite, and time period of investment. And today it's become very easy because you have people available online. You have availability of experts, people can guide. But I'm sure most of us are university graduates here, or we would have gone to some university. Okay, but there are some three dangerous universities which I would want to just highlight upon: University of WhatsApp, University of Instagram, University of YouTube. Please make sure that they are verified, right? So make sure that these are the three universities that you should be very careful about before you take decisions on investing your hard-earned money, because the fundamental thing that we are trying to do here is to make sure that it's a hard-earned money and the money has to work for us. So I just leave with this small introduction. Uh, my details are available. I can share it to the group. And as I said, uh, SIP karo, okay? Mutual fund sahi hai, advisor ki zarurat bhi hai. And also to just leave the last, again, numbers. I started with the balance sheet and number. 28,000 crores is approximately what every month investments happen through SIPs. So it's not a bad investment option. Mutual funds are not a bad investment option. We are only 6 or 7% of the people investing in this country into the capital markets. We have a long way to go ahead. And to the young people here, take informed decisions. Old investments are not bad options, but yes, changing times, make sure that you also have to make sure that the money works hard for you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for this time. I think I have tried to be as crisp as possible. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Mr. Perepi Balasubramanian,
Now the
for a
Q&A session will begin, and Toastmaster Sachin will be the Q&A moderator, please. Anybody who
yeah.
has a question, please put them in the chat box or raise their hands.
Okay. Uh, okay. Thank you, Mr. Perepi
Thank you.
Balasubramaniam, for such
Yeah.
an insightful session. And I totally agree with you. Being also a finance person, could relate to most of the points where I spoke about, how to secure life, plan your life, start investing early, regular investment. And then he spoke about low risk, medium risk, and, where low risk is recurring deposit FD, and then moderate is mutual funds. And just I totally agree with you. And most of, and the reason that a middle class remains middle class because of this, because we invest in a very low risk instruments, not in a moderate or high risk. And most of the time the middle class, they invest in real estate. The moment they start earning, they buy a house and get into the vicious circle of EMIs. So thanks for pointing out a lot of things which I am sure it will help the listeners to plan their life well. And now coming to Q&A, I'll start with first question, and that is, which can you just suggest some of the mutual funds which are, I mean, in a moderate level, high risky, but not very risky, and good return. And the second question to attach to that is whether we should invest in gold ETF or silver ETF.
Okay. To answer this question in terms of what are the options today for someone to start? For someone to start to make a beginning, the easiest option to start investing today is to invest in index funds. Okay. So the market has a large classification of index funds. You have a large cap, a mid cap, and a small cap. So the large cap index is predominantly your first 100 companies. Your mid cap index is 100 to 250, and 250 and above is a small cap, right? So when there is a thumb rule which we typically try to follow, it's not a written law. 100 minus of your age is your exposure that needs to be in equity markets. If you're a 30-year-old young man, 70% of your money has to be in equity, 30% of your money has to be in debt. And today, if you're working with any organizations or government organizations, you know your PF is something which is getting accumulated. So your low risk is anyway getting accumulated in the form of PF. So what you need to do is that you need to make sure that index options is the first thing you can start investing. Okay. then build. It's like this, you're building your house. You need to have a fantastic foundation, build over it. A penthouse can be built or a pergola can be built only at the top. Okay. You need to build, make sure that you have a proper ground floor, first floor, and then go. So make sure that you use index funds as the first option. Okay. And also, when you're looking at regular investments, make sure that you have a clear-cut asset allocation. A principle called asset allocation comes into play. Uh, Gold and silver, what do I do with gold and silver as an investment option today? Right? Always for any clients, gold and silver has always been anywhere between 5 to 10% as a part of the portfolio. Uh, Thank God this is an online session. If not, the woman would probably try to come and beat me up and say when I say only 5-10% on gold or silver. Because typically south of India or Indians predominantly, we have a lot of gold that is bought in terms of jewelry. Seldom jewelry gets sold. It just gets exchanged or upgraded, right? And a lot of jewelry is there in terms of sentiment value. So try to take a call on that in terms of how much physical gold is lying around, which is not utilized, and make sure that you make the right choices in allocating your money. And index funds is the best thing to start off. You can look at. Then you have, these are called passive funds. That is, there is no human intervention here. They are run by just like a model. Money is invested through the funnel. It gets across to all top 50 companies as per the weightages. So not much of rocket science or nothing is required here. But the process becomes much more complex or much more detailed. And unfortunately, it is not like one size fits all. Each one has different options, different goals, and funds differ in that way. So if you're looking at broadly investing, you want to take the higher risk, get into small cap index. Risk reward is very high. The mid and small cap index, the risk is very high. The large cap or the Nifty 50 is something which is you can say in the equity markets, it's a low risk. But to just give you a sounding off, if you're not looking like spending minimum 5 years as your investment horizon in equity markets, please don't come. And please don't look at historical returns and invest. Last year, gold gave 51%. This year, it will give again. No. Because what I believe is how long can you see a rear view mirror and drive? Rear view mirror and drive, how long can you drive? So what has happened in the past is based on certain events. Markets is always forward thinking. Okay, so investing in any asset class, make sure that don't have heavy expectations. Okay, that I'm going to make 20-30%, which has happened. People who made this kind of money in the last 3-4 years are the people who took the daring steps. During COVID, people who invested are the guys who actually made money, because most of the people didn't know whether we're going to live the sixth month or whatever is it, right? So typically your risk reward is something which is important. So start with index funds. That's the best way to do it. And gold and silver has its place in a portfolio anywhere between 10 to 15%, depending upon how you want to play it. Because silver has become more of a metal which is of industrial use over a period of time. Last month, US bought that into critical minerals list. Okay, silver is being used in sectors like semiconductors. So the industrial use is increasing. Gold always, it's a favorite. I think if I'm not wrong, last year, 4,400 tons of gold, 1,300 tons was bought by governments. Okay, gold always goes up when there is uncertainty and unrest in an economy or globally. Geopolitical factors play a lot. 1,300 crores of 1,300 tons was bought by governments itself. So central bankers have been buying gold, not you and me. They are the major purchasers out there. Gold has its place. It can be part of your. I have a next question which has come on. In the current market scenario, please suggest some funds advisable for investments other than regular SIPs of index funds, and what would make bulk investments or one-time investments? Uh, with reference to current scenario, if you want to make any other alternative investments, if you have an exposure which is already there in the form of mutual funds, make sure that you try to look at some kind of hybrid funds which are available in the market or low risk funds. Don't go for FDs and RDs because your taxation is very high. And most of you, if you're on a 30% tax bracket, you end up paying higher taxation when it comes to fixed deposits. Okay. You have income plus funds, income plus arbitrage as a category. You have equity savings, low risk category. You can look at them as some options.
Okay, sorry to interrupt. Uh, it is a wonderful session, first I should say, because in schools and colleges, we get to know that we need to earn money, but no one ever tells us how to save that money and how to utilize that money.
True, ma'am.
Yeah. So when I started my journey, I always thought that whatever I earn, I should spend it immediately, not even wait till the end of the month. And later, practical life taught me different things. So what we'll do now is we'll go for a 5 minutes break. Those who want to ask question can continue asking question.
Yeah, and I've just dropped in my email ID in the chat box. If anybody has any questions which is not, you can please write to me. I will get back to you guys as well in terms of any other questions which are there.
And
That is something which I can definitely do.
sure.
Uh,
That
eh,
well,
yeah, any other questions? I'm happy to answer.
yes, Toastmaster Sachin is there, and there are a few more questions in the chat also. We'll continue with your question answer.
Sure.
Rest of them will go on a break and come back after
Yeah,
5 minutes.
sure. There's a question, are there any tax-free mutual funds which we can invest in? Okay. Mutual funds taxation is there are classification of mutual funds. Okay. Tax-free earlier used to be that to save your tax on ATC, you had an option to invest in something called equity linked savings scheme, ELSS schemes, which had a lock-in for 3 years, and you would get tax exemption. The tax-free income here is that what if you have invested, say, 10 lakhs, if you earned 12% return, which is a lakh and 20,000 in the current tax laws, 1,25,000 of profits is exempt from tax per year per pan. So you have to work smartly in terms of harvesting tax-free gains. That is something which is important. So there are no tax-free mutual funds. Only thing is mutual funds are taxed either as long-term or short-term. You hold them more than 1 year, they are long-term. Short-term is less than 1 year. And taxation is 20%, and beyond 1,25,000, you pay 12.5%. So you do not have any tax-free mutual funds. I have a question from Vivek Jain. Sir, I'm looking for a short-term gains for an SIP or MF. Suggest me some good SIP for MF. So good investment. Okay. Vivek, when it comes to equity mutual funds, we don't suggest equity mutual funds for short term. As I said, equity mutual funds are given to people who have an horizon of at least 5 years and above. Because in the last 25 years, there have been years where 2 years, 3 years, the markets have not given any returns. You should be patient enough. So you just take last 1 year, apart from last few sessions, if you just take a broad index value, we have been flat or no return. This period is typically called a time correction in the market. The market doesn't move anywhere. It is in the same zone where it was. So it's a time correction. So typically, there are other products in the mutual fund basket which will give you FD plus kind of a returns. Okay, you can ladder your investments. They are called hybrid investments, conservative hybrid investments. Then come equity mutual funds, right? So if you're looking at long-term goals, okay, please look at equity. If not, there are various other products within the mutual fund basket which you can look at. And uh, for SIPs, for short-term goals, SIPs in terms of, for me, a short-term goal by definition is if you are going to save money for emergency fund, if you have to pay next year's insurance premiums, which is 1 year from now, you have kids' school fees to be paid next year. These are short-term goals. Anything beyond 2 years, less than 2 years, is predominantly short-term in nature because markets can be as fluctuating as possible. So you should be very clear in terms of what are you getting. And for use of common sense and heaven's sake, if somebody is coming and giving you invest here, short term, you'll make money, right? It's going to be very difficult. Okay, I have seen a lot of investors who have left this wonderful journey of investments because of one wrong advice, right? So I have one more question now, which was from Ritu George. Can you talk about SWP, systematic withdrawal plan? Uh, this is something which we try to do for most of our clients. 99% of my clients are not pensioners. You need to create your own pension pool because we are not part of government pension. So how do you do it? You make the right investment choices. You try to build a corpus that is built towards your retirement. So most of my retirement clients, by the time they head towards retirement, they have two pots of money. One pot of money is where they've been investing in mutual funds for a cycle of at least 5 to 10 years. The other pot of money is what they get accumulated by virtue of their service in the form of PF, gratuity, superannuation, retirals which come to them. So what happens is at the time of retirement, you have a large chunk of money that comes in. At that point, none of us are going to take an iota of risk in investing that money. We will make sure that we put that money in fixed deposits, senior citizen saving schemes, any government schemes where returns are fixed. You don't want to take risk because that is your golden egg. You have no more earning capacity. So what happens is the last 5, 10 years, all that money that you have invested in mutual funds, that's a corpus which is sitting. For a systematic withdrawal plan, which we've been following as a principle for the last decade for our clients, we withdraw 6% of your corpus value per annum for your survival. So if uh, uh, Ritu ma'am, if you're getting to retirement, if you have 5 crores, of which 2.5 crores is mutual funds and 2.5 crores is from your retirals, okay, this 2.5 crores will sit into the most important investments like fixed deposits, emergency fund, and all those stuff. So assuming they're going to give you 6%. So the two, say for calculation purpose, 6 crores, 3 crores is giving you 6%, which is 18 lakhs, which is 1.5 lakh a month.
Sir,
Then this,
I'm sorry. I have to. I have
okay,
to
I'll just
interrupt.
finish this
Yeah,
last
yeah,
Ritu's
yeah,
question.
yeah,
Okay.
sure.
The balance 1 point, whatever money you require for your survival, can be withdrawn from your equity portfolio. Because if you have two portfolios, one will never grow. That fixed deposit portfolio, even after 20 years, will not grow. That money will stay. You require a portfolio that grows. That's your mutual fund portfolio. So my oldest client is 92, who has 60% of his investments in equity mutual funds. And he buys an iPhone every time it releases. And he uses only two features: to make a call and send a message. Okay. So I'm saying, just on a lighter note, that gives you financial freedom, gives you that kind of an option. So that's a fantastic tool. Okay, you can write to me, we can connect. I can probably explain. Sorry, ma'am.
No, no, no. It was interesting, sir. We want to talk to you more, but since we are bound by
No, no,
time,
I do understand. I do
and
understand. As a part of the meeting, yes, I do understand. Yeah.
yes, and anyone who has any question, I'm seeing that most of you, and these are looking like jargons to me, like SWP or something. But please connect with Sir. Sir has given you the email ID, and you can please connect with him and get all your queries answered. Thank you so much for such
I've,
an
jo-
interest.
I've, I've dropped my number as well, so you can
Yes, yes,
text
yes.
me
You have
separately.
dropped your
Yeah.
number, and
Yeah.
thank you so much for such an interesting session. Finance is something which we need every second of our life, but we are not prepared, not learn enough. And whenever we get such an person who gives us the basics and then tells us about the mutual funds and term insurances, we definitely don't want to let you go. But yes, we have our TOMOD, Rahul, ready to take on the session further. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
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 you.
you, Mr.
Thank,
Pleasure was mine.
Gabby. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, Rahul.
thank
thank
you,
you very
Sachin,
much for your
Mr.
Thank you,
Sachin.
insightful
Sachin. Yeah.
session.
Thank you.
Um, it was great listening to the all the insights regarding the finance. And now I would like to um, move the meeting further. So the entire meeting today is being closely observed and monitored by the general evaluator, who will later present a comprehensive review of the proceedings. Our general evaluator is able by the TEL team, which is timer, evaluator, listener, and language evaluator. Um, each play key role in helping us improve our communication and grow. I urge the language evaluator to share the word of the day in the chat box and encourage everyone to use it to today's meeting creatively. So the general evaluator for today is Toastmaster Rahul V. Are you there, Toastmaster Rahul?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, so uh, he's a network engineer at Walmart. He loves solving complex connectivity problems by day and hitting the road for a run or bike ride after hours of work at the office. Wherever he explores new routes and also loves to meet new people. He's always up for good conversations. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Toastmaster of the Day. So, let me introduce, I'm the general evaluator for today, and I'll tell more about my role in the end. But let me first introduce the language evaluator for today's meeting. That would be Toastmaster Joshua. Toastmaster Michael Joshua, can you please, first of all, let me give his introduction. Toastmaster Michael Joshua is the founder and CEO of, one second. Sorry, is the founder and CEO of Mitch Josh Cybersecurity, and he has 14 plus years of experience in securing businesses at Infosys, Wipro, and EY. And he's now leading his own firm, and he helps organizations protect digital assets. And he joined Toastmasters to enhance his speaking skills and share his journey and learn from the community. Toastmaster Joshua, the stage is all yours.
Uh, Thank you, General Evaluator Rahul, and fellow Toastmasters and guests. As language evaluator, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I will make note of unnecessary words and sounds used by all the speakers and role players of today's meeting. This report would focus on five major areas. Filler words such as here, inappropriate interjections, for instance, and well, but, so, the use of crutch words similar to basically, actually, these things. Repetitive words or phrases in the form of this means unintentionally long or short pauses made by the speakers. Any misuses of the English language, any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. For today's meeting, the word of the day is assiduous, which means showing great care, attention, and persistent effort in carrying out tasks. For example, he showed an assiduous attitude towards improving his skills. Each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day. I'm posting the word of the day in the chat for everyone's reference. I'll give the word of the day report and the language usage report when called upon during the meeting. Thank you, and word to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you for that short, crisp, detailed thing of what your role plays. And I do encourage all the members to use the word assiduous and in their speeches or when they're talking. Now, let me go to my next role player. That will be the timer. No meeting can be fully evaluated or gone forth if you don't time it properly. And today's timer is Chitranga. A little bit about Toastmaster Chitranga. Toastmaster Chitranga Singh is a 11-year corporate champion, passionate traveler, dance enthusiast. She is now adding mom and impeccable communicator to her resume. And she's also mastering the ultimate juggling act. And over to you, Toastmaster Chitranga.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rahul. Yeah. Okay. So, as a timer, my role is to ensure that we are on track time-wise because time is also one of the treasures that we have to really respect. For all the prepared speeches and evaluations, we have to be timed with whatever is given in the agenda. Prepared speeches are supposed to be 5 to 7 minutes. When we are at 5 minutes, I'll show a green card. When we are at 6 minutes, I'll show a yellow card. And at seven, I'll show a red card. For evaluations, we have 2 to 3 minutes of stipulated time. I'll show a green card at 2 minutes, yellow at 2 minutes 30 seconds, and a red card at 3 minutes. There will be a grace period of 30 seconds, both above and beyond the time window. And any speech that is not within this time window and the grace period will be disqualified. Over to you, General Evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Chitranga, for that. A good intro of what your role does. And also one thing to keep is that all our speeches and evaluators, please do keep in mind the timings and please do follow across when you're giving a speech or evaluations. Now let me go to my last role player. That will be the listener. And today's listener is none other than Toastmaster Jai Parekh. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. A little bit about Toastmaster Jai. He is a second year student at VIT Velur and he is passionate about AI and machine learning. And he thrives on hands-on collaborative environments like hackathons, where he turns complex ideas into real-world solutions. His goal is to build impactful technologies that bridge innovation and human needs. Over to you, Toastmaster Jay, and tell us what your role does.
Thank you, General Evaluator Rahul. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, as the listener of the day, I'll be paying close attention to what is being said from everything from speeches to evaluations. And at the end of the meeting, I'll ask a few brief questions to check how attentively we have all been listening. Thank you. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jay. So there we go. There is my team. And we will be presenting our report at the end of the meeting. So we get to understand where we could do better and what are the things that we have done awesome. And over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. So moving on back to the theme that is treasures beyond wealth, treasures beyond the currency which we have. So I now would like to play a small game with you. I will give you few scenarios and you have to choose um, which one suits you better. So there are only two scenarios. So first one would be I'll ask for a volunteer if someone wants to come. Can I see raise of hands? All right, I can see um, Perepi, um, our educational speaker. Yeah.
Yes.
So your scenario is, what would you prefer? $1 million or a lifetime of good health?
A
Which one would
lifetime
you
of
choose?
good health
Yeah, and why?
is my personal experience. Okay. Uh, I left my corporate job and got into my own business. And that's when I started getting into fitness. Uh, I used to play a sport in school, but I took marathon training as a serious to make sure my I keep myself healthy. So it's 9 years now, and I'm into marathons. I started running first 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, and today I I do a 42, uh, uh, and I've I've done completed. I'm aiming for the 6 stars, which are six global marathons. I've done my London and Berlin. In November, I'm doing my New York. So there are three more: Chicago, Boston, which is the Holy Grail, and then Tokyo and Sydney is something which has got added. So for me, the time which I spend on my road when I'm running, it's me, my heartbeat, and my breath. I don't think so I can get any more peaceful time than that. So $1 million, I think I probably gave it away a long time back for health.
That's wonderful to hear. Even to be honest, I am also a marathon enthusiast, and I also take part in a lot of marathons across Bangalore as well as now in Hyderabad. But yeah, I would love to learn and connect with you. So good to know that you are, apart from being a financial expert, you are also a fitness enthusiast, just like me. So yeah, anybody else who would like to volunteer for the next?
TMOD Rahul, can we proceed
Yeah,
with the next section, please? Prepared speech. We are behind that
sure.
schedule time.
Sure. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Renu, for telling the, nudging between so that we can be on time. So moving on to the next session, which is prepared speeches. We have our first speaker, whom I would like to introduce. So we have Toastmaster AVS Prapurna. AVS Prapurna is a structural design engineer at Amberg Engineering, hails from Visakhapatnam and works in Gurugram. A Toastmaster since 2024 September. She quickly took up leadership roles, at first VP Education and now serving her second term in VP membership at Gurgaon Orators Toastmasters Club. So, timer, please note her speech um, will be from 5 to 7 minutes. And do we have the evaluator for Toastmaster Parpurna in the meeting?
I'm here.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great. So the just a minute. So the title so the level of speech which Toastmaster Prapurna is going to speak upon is 3, and the project is elevative using descriptive language. Um, her speech title is Technology That Connects. Um, so Toastmaster Prapurna, technology that connects, Toastmaster Prapurna. I think you are not audible.
You're on
You're
mute.
on mute.
He's on mute.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, have you ever poured all your heart into a message only to meet with a silence? I did. Years ago, while I was in school, I wrote a heartfelt letter to my friend Shraddha, who left the school 1 year ago. I really wanted to reconnect with her because of the bonding we have shared. Then I wrote all our experiences, word by word, line by line, para by para, and neatly folded that paper into a beautiful cream colored envelope and mailed it to her, hoping to see that Shraddha will meet me so soon and the reply will come so soon. But 1 month, 1 week passed, 2 weeks passed, 3 weeks passed. I didn't get any reply. I always used to check when the postman bell rings, tring tring, tring tring, tring tring, but the box was always empty. How do you think a little 8-year-old child who was waiting for a reply from her best friend didn't get? I felt dejected, forgotten. But after 3 months, When the Shraddha came to meet me with her parents, I realized that never reached her, that letter never reached her. Then I realized it's not the people who fail us, it's only the medium which fails. So then I began by observing how the technology evolves and how can I better shape up my communication. With the advent of landlines, we also purchased a land phone at our home, which is a beautiful greenish black color landline with a glossy receiver and the black cord curling like a lazy spring. Whenever I get a ring, I used to feel very happy. I got lots of birthday wishes through it. Every time I go to an exam, I'll get wishes from my grandmother. Prapuna, do very well in your exam. I used to feel that connect, that warmth. But as soon as the line gets disconnected, that moments get evaporated. But when the messages came, then I realized, oh, this time I can treasure the messages I have. It's not like the phone got disconnected, my message, everything was gone. This time the message was right there in front of me, which I can get very swiftly. But then I realized whenever I'm sending how are you message, the reply I got, I'm fine, okay. Whether it is I'm fine, okay, or I'm fine, okay. I didn't get any understand what it does really mean because you don't know how the other person is feeling. Although the emojis do help, with a nice smiley emoji which conveys your happiness or a love that conveys the love between you both, or there's so many emojis that convey every feeling. But only to mention, a thumbs up has ended many conversations than it began. Then we have these voice notes. I really would like to share one incident where my friend is getting married and she invited me to marriage through a WhatsApp message. Through this, I instead of choosing a reply, I preferred a voice note where I said, I am really very, very happy that you're getting married. I'm looking forward to join you soon. It's very good to connect after so long. Then she replied, Prapuna, this is the best reply I got till now. She really felt that warmth, that emotion that I would like to convey. And it strengthened our bond. With the advent of video calls, now we are making the presence much better than the earlier stages where you don't know how the other person is feeling. You can see the nice glowing smiles upon the face right in front of you at the comfort of your home. You can attend the meetings, you can put yourself, exhibit the presence very well. But what I would like to mention, it's not the technology that connects, but it is also along with the technology the choice we make, because after all, technology is a tool. I accept it. It matters a lot. It is much better than the letters or the messages, plain text messages. But now in the era of AI, video calls, while technology matters, it's up to us how we use the technology, how you shape up your relationships with the choices you make. A cold okay can distance us, but a warm voice note can make miles closer than we could ever imagine. So, let me leave you with a thought that whenever you're using the technology next time, try to connect with the people the same warmth that you would like to receive when you expect from the other person. With that, i'm I'm over to you, Timor. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the wonderful speech. Toastmasters Prapurna. And indeed, um, voice notes are always better than, uh, you know, saggy text messages when you don't understand the feeling. Timer, I see your hand of raise. Maybe.
No, that is just to appear on the
Okay.
front.
All right. So moving on to the next speaker, um, we have another speaker, um, which is Toastmaster Saroj Rathore. Saroj Rathore is a specialist in business strategy and development with over 10 years of experience. Currently, she is on a parental break, enjoying quality time with her child while pursuing her hobbies of reading, writing, and freehand drawing. Now, she will be giving a speech on self influence. It's her level 1, project 4 of Pathway Presentation Mastery. Her speech length is 5 to 7 minutes. Timer, please note that. And she will be evaluated by Toastmaster Sachin Jaiswal and Mamta Jain. I hope they are present. Please confirm your um, presence in the
Yeah,
meeting.
Sachin Jaiswal. I'm Sachin Jaiswal. I'm present.
Yes, I am also present.
Great. Um, so, moving on to the Toastmaster and the speaker, uh, Toastmaster Saroj Rathore, self-influence, Toastmaster Saroj Rathore. Over to you.
Hello, everyone. I want to talk to you about a powerful force that shapes our lives every single day: self influence. What do I mean by self influence? It's the art of motivating, guiding, and pushing ourselves toward growth, even when the world around us pulls in a different direction. It's not about external pressure or societal expectation. It's about that inner voice that says, you can do this, you must do this. Self influence is a quiet revolution within us that turns ordinary routines into extraordinary achievements. And the best part of it, it's something we all have the power to cultivate within us. Let me share some real life example from my own journey, because self influence is not about abstract concept. It's lived in every single day in the small consistent choices we make every time. Take my fitness regime. For instance, a few months ago, I was that person who hit the snooze button instead of attending the gym. But I realized that influencing myself means rewriting my own story. Now, every morning, even when the bed feels like a magnet, I lace up my sneaker and go for a run or a yoga session. It's not about perfection, it's just about the progress we do every time in a small steps. That self push has not only toned my body, but also strengthened my mind, reminding me that discipline is the ultimate form of self love. Speaking of self love, let's talk about nurturing our inner world through spirituality. In the hustle of daily lives, it's very easy to neglect our own soul. But I have made it a non negotiable, starting my day with puja and meditation. Picture this: sun is rising, insect rafting through the air, and I sit in a quiet reflection. This practice influenced me to approach the day with calm and gratitude. And self love extends beyond that. It's treating myself to a warm cup of herbal tea after a long day, or journaling my wins, no matter how small it is. This act of small step noting down reminds me that I am worthy of my own kindness. Now, as a parent, self influence plays a starring role in how I show up for my family. Helping my 6-year-old with study, it's a daily adventure. There are evenings when I'm exhausted from work, and the last thing I want to dive into phonics. or maths flashcard. But I have influenced myself by remembering the bigger picture. I'm not just teaching letters to him, I am building his confidence, our bond. And I I see him progressing with that small things which I do to him. I just make sure that I am present for him and I am being patient with him. Parenting is not about being superhuman. It's about influencing yourself to model the resilience you want your child to see. And oh, the kitchen. The kitchen, my arena for creative self influence. Cooking used to feel like a chore, especially after a full day at the office. But I have flipped the script. Now it's my therapy. Whether it's wiping up a nutritious dal or experimenting with a new salad, I push myself to make healthy, loving meal for my family. It's a way to influence my own well-being while nourishing those I care about. Small wins like prepping veggies the night before and up to add up to the big changes. Managing the morning hustle. Think about it. That's where how I influence myself. And that self influence truly shines here. Imagine the alarm buzzing at 5 a.m. Fitness, spiritual practice, packaging lunches, getting my little one ready for the school, and squeezing a small, quick breakfast for myself. It's evolving, right? But I balance it by setting intention the night before and reminding myself, you have got this. I push myself to adapt, embracing my feminine energy to bring harmony to the home. Femininity to me is not about stereotype, it's about flowing with grace, intuition, and strength. I influence myself to create a balanced house energy, lighting candles, playing soft music, and simply hugging my family member to reset the vibe. Balancing a job with all this, it's the ultimate test of self influence. There are days when deadline looms, home life calls pulling me into. But I have learned to be both independent and dependent in owning my career goals, pushing for that promotion by upskilling after hours, and dependent in leaning on my support system, like asking my partner to handle the dinner when I'm really swamped. It's okay to ask for help. It doesn't diminish your strength. In fact, it amplifies it. When the delay happens at work and home, I influence myself to level up. Maybe by reading a book on time management or journaling about what went wrong to do better next time. I have extended this to personal hobbies too, like gardening on weekends, starting small with a few pots on the balcony. Self influence is not about being flawless, it's about being intentional every day. It's the gentle nudge when you are tempted to quit, the cheer when you succeed. In a world full of distraction, demand, influencer, the most powerful influence is the one you build over yourself. So I challenge all of you today. Start today. Pick one area: fitness, family, faith, career, and push yourself just a little further. Watch how it transforms your life and the life those around you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Speaker Saroj. It was really insightful, and definitely we all should work on self development and self influence through all these pointers you suggested. Moving on to our last speaker of the day, we have our next speaker, Toastmaster Swati Gupta. Swati Gupta is a qualified CA and CMA, has joined Toastmaster again to improve her communication skills. In her leisure time, she likes to sketch, paint, and try new things. She describes herself as a happy go to lucky person. Swati Gupta um, has going on level 1 of leadership development. The length of her speech will be 5 to 7 minutes. Timer, please note that. And The title of the speech will be Small Steps, Big Results. The evaluators will be Toastmaster Gauri Agarwal and Ritu George. Please confirm your presence.
Yes, present.
I'm present.
Um, Over to Toastmaster Swati Gupta. Small steps, big results. Small steps, big results. Toastmaster Swati Gupta.
Thanks, TMOD Rahul, for giving a brief introduction about myself. So, how many of you guys often have really realized that you guys have gone become such a champion on scrolling? Like, nothing, we know nothing, still we are so good at scrolling, right? So over the past like 5 years or 6 years, we have become like champions on scrolling, right? So it is something which also relates to consistency, right? Because we had been consistently scrolling a lot without even thinking it twice, like what we are doing, right? But jokes apart from that, how many times we often promise ourselves with new goals, new regimes, like I have to wake up at 5 a.m., I have to change my fitness, I have to get into shape, and things like that, blah blah blah, goes on like that. But we are not able to achieve it. But as you guys have heard, Mr. Pepri here, he has achieved so much of the financial literacy and so much as a financial freedom, right? But we also think like we have to become financial independent one day, but how many times do we achieve that? It's because the small consistent efforts are always missing in our lives. If I take you guys to our childhood, right? So the ABCD, when did we learn the ABCD? It was learned when we were either 4 years or 5 years or maybe 3 years nowadays, right? Because nowadays child are like AI generated, they can quickly learn anything, even scrolling the YouTube reels, right? So we might have learned in our 4 or 5 years, right? So how many times teachers had given us the homework doing the ABCD and practicing it, and the words and the spellings and the exams, and so many homeworks and classworks being done, right? And still we are able to recall the ABCD. Why? The reason was again the consistency. We had practiced ABCD, we have seen the objects around ABCD in the entire world, right? Do you recall at nights our parents will start like, please share me a poem of what you have been taught in the school, please let me know what do you say it. They will just take the object and they will say, how do you say it in English, something like that. They will always practice. So ABCD had become something in our entire world, right? And it is not something we learned at a night and we were able to recall it even today. It was because it was always present in our environment in a educious manner, right? It was always being practiced with the hard work and the perseverance, right? And with that effect, I would like to quote a mathematical quote here. You guys might have already scrolled this quote multiple times as well. 1 is to the power of 365 is still remains 1. However, 1 is to the 1.2 sorry 1.01 to the exponent of 365 becomes 37. And that is the power of consistency, that is the power of compounding of your little efforts. And whenever we read any philosophy book, we read books like Atomic Habits or something like that, we always wonder how this guy was able to think like this. And when we read Intelligent Investor, when we look at Jeff Bezos, when we look at Warren Buffett, we always think, oh, this guy must have certain talent. But let me just clear the air here. It's not never about the talent itself. It's always believing in yourself no matter what happens in your life. So it is again the compounding of your belief in yourself on a consistent manner. And apart from that, there are certain areas in our lives where what we want to achieve and we just miss one point in there, and that is again your efforts. We are able to achieve so much and everything will start compounding. The only thing which still remains missing, because we have started losing our attention span nowadays, is again consistency. The deliberation and the hard work we always put on the first day should not may decrease over a period of time, but again if you are able to show up the next day The third day, the fifth day, or the 10th day, that is something will always compound for you. What happens to us usually, the second day we feel, oh, we don't want to do it any longer, it becomes boring. But let me tell you guys, even the things which become so much boring in our day to day life, which becomes monotonous, but if we still keep on doing with consistent efforts, becomes a masterpiece in our life. So I would like to show one of the example of myself. Like I was very pretty bad at my drawing, I would say. And when I started, I was barely able to make this apple, which is even not good, right? It doesn't look even evenly shaped. The shading is so wrong. My teacher literally wanted to tear out this paper when I showed her. However, upon consistent result, when I kept on doing it consistently, this is what I made yesterday. So I feel I started believing in consistency when I started this drawing, and everything what I pursue in my life, I always now try to be consistent. There is this gig word called by Gen Zs as well. Consistency has this vibes, bro. So I literally have started following the vibes of consistency nowadays. And I would like to conclude that if consistency is something you can really embrace in your life, you can really change your life, and your compounding will become the compounding of the consistency will improve your life. Yeah, thanks. That's my time.
Thank you very much, uh, Toastmaster Swati Gupta. And it was really insightful and good to see that you have such a serious way of creating such crafts. Amazing. I could never imagine drawing that. But yeah, wonderful. Um, Thank you very much for all the speeches, and it was really good. Um, thank you for this to the speakers. Now we will move on to the evaluation section, and this is the segment where we will reflect the true spirit of Toastmasters, growing through feedback. In this section, we will have um, general evaluator who will be leading the section, Toastmaster Rahul V, along with his TEL team. Uh, Over to you, General Evaluator Rahul.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. So, we are in that part of the meeting where we get to evaluate, take our feedback, and also get to know what are the good things that we did in this meeting. So, let me call upon our timer first and check. Timer, are all the speakers qualified? Are they within the time?
Yes, all speakers are qualified.
All right. Thank you for that. Now, before I call upon the evaluators, there is a small thing which I got to know is that the meeting was started like 30 minutes earlier at 7 p.m. IST. So due to that, I believe the meeting will close automatically by 9:30 p.m. IST. So keeping that in mind, let's just try, expediting our evaluations in a more crisp manner, and so we can save a little bit of time so everybody gets to speak and play a role in the meeting. With that being said, let me call upon our first speaker. That would be Toastmaster AVLS Parpuna, and evaluating her for the evaluator one, that would be Toastmaster Smriti, I believe. One second. Yes, Toastmaster Smriti. So, can we please highlight both the speaker and the evaluator, please? In the meantime, let me introduce Toastmaster Smriti. Toastmaster Smriti is a certified soft skills trainer, mentorship specialist, a training content creator, and a seasoned B2B enterprise sales professional with over a decade of experience. And a career is marked by a commitment to fostering personal and professional growth through communication, leadership, and learning. Within Toastmasters, she's held multiple executive roles at the club level and has served as a district level as a club mentor, club coach, and a distinguished area director. And she has a lot more going on for her, but I'll cut it short and hand over the stage to Toastmaster Smriti.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. Two things, if I can start with Prapurna, a nostalgic and memorable journey of friendship and technology. A true reflection which I felt after witnessing your speech today. Your
speech was about usage of descriptive language, and the objective was to do justice by using the same in your speech as well as engaging the audience in a similar manner. Let me tell how you met your project objective by focusing on the descriptive element. Things which you included in your speech was the protagonist, which is you and partially Shraddha, your friend, your aunt while talking in the WhatsApp group. You had a setup entirely the plot, which was in a sequential manner. You started with a very ancient age old way of writing letters to WhatsApp, then the voice note, then the video call. You also had dialogues in between where you were conversing with your aunt over the WhatsApp chat. These all elements shows the descriptive elements which you used in this particular speech, doing justice to your speech objective. There is a second part of the objective, which is interesting and engaging for the audience too. Was I engaged? Absolutely yes, because of the narration which you had. Was I interested? I partially deferred there, and I'll help you to understand how we can elevate the same. First thing first, Shraddha, the descriptive language is not only restricted to a beautiful narration, it boils down to usage of more elements like hyperbole. Exaggerate more where required. You may use similes, you may use symbolizations as well. I try to figure out something which I can read out for you. Instances where you are explaining how technology changed and it helped you, you might use a sentence like, technology connects us like thread in a vast tapestry. Emojis are like the tiny sparks of laughter. Voice notes like the thunder rolling around continents. Just an example to cite a few, you can use these kind of words or sentences to do more justice to your speech objective. The second suggestion from my end, and it's a personal suggestion, when I look in the content of a speech, we look for a closure. Here, I was looking for a closure with Shraddha. After you witnessed how technology advanced, you witnessed how technology connected. Did you connect back with Shraddha? How are your equation at present? Did it help you, or you are in that loop of emoticons, misunderstood read text or not? So overall, Prapurna, thank you so much for doing justice with respect to your usage of descriptive elements. But I'm still struggling with Shraddha. If you can add her in your speech towards the closure. And second, use smart descriptive language to elevate the speech. Definitely miles to go, and you did a beautiful justice to your speech objective. Thank you so much. I wish you good luck for all your future speeches. Back to you, general evaluator.
Let's have applause, a lot of applause for Toastmaster Smriti and also for Toastmaster Prapurna. So coming to Toastmaster Smriti, like you pretty much added what I was thinking. I can't think of anything else to add, and thank you for that. So let me go to the next evaluator. That would be Toastmaster. One second. Yeah, Toastmaster Deepak Mishra. So let me introduce my apologies, DTM Deepak Mishra. DTM Deepak Mishra is a mechanical engineer with a passion for reading and poetry. He works as a program manager at Rishiwood University in Haryana, where his engineering background helps him to solve problems creatively while his love for books and poetry keeps him inspired. Over to you, DTM Deepak.
Uh, First of all, I don't understand why you are using this word DTM. Uh, what does this mean, Rahul?
Distinguished Toastmaster.
Master.
Okay.
I just made a small activation.
Okay, no problem. I know Prapurna from a long time. I remember when she gave her first speech. We both are part of the same club in Gurgaon. Whatever Smriti said in her evaluation, I totally, completely agree with her. And I think she covered most of the points. My evaluation was more on the vocal variety, on gestures, and body language. So I think she was perfect in all the three categories. Uh, Gestures were there, body language was good, and there was uh, vocal changes. And while narrating her childhood story, she was emphasizing on how that letter, when
she did not receive the reply of the letter, how she felt. So she was describing everything in a proper manner. The only thing which I felt is where I might be wrong. This is my personal suggestion. Sometimes while delivering speech, where we emphasize more on gestures, we emphasize more on changing our tone. Because of that, we lack the natural way of giving the speech. Because when we give a speech in a natural way, that looks very genuine. So I felt that that was missing, because of which the connect which she could have made with the audience was bit, I would say, lacking. Uh, so I would suggest Prapurna to record this speech in a more natural way. I know her voice. I know while giving the speech that was changing. So if she will give this speech in a natural way, I think it will be much more impactful. And she can try it once if uh, and discuss with maybe her mentor or with us, and then we can suggest where she lagged and where she can improve. So over to you, General Evaluator Rahul.
A big round of applause for our evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Deepak. So one thing which I really loved about your evaluation was you were able to like understand the speaker and kind of know that which was a a natural way of talking, and you brought that up. That's a very big important thing. Whenever you give a speech, it's important you be in your element and you give it from them because the audience feels that. And also one of the improvements or one of the feedback which I would like to give to you, DTM Deepak, is that whenever you say that the speaker has done a good job in a vocalization or even in a gestures, it's always good that we follow up with an example of what she did. Even when she was narrating, she was using her hand signs, right? It always gives her that little bit of boost. She knows, okay, fine, I did
Sure.
this. And if you feel like she's not done a good job in her vocal variety, you could also say that this part you could have done a better. Apart from that, a good evaluation overall, and once again, a good. I mean, I would like to congratulate you again. So,
Thank you so much.
so coming to speaker Prapurna, I believe both the evaluators have covered most of the points. This is like a couple of things which I would like to say, which I believe can take your speech to the next segment. Let me start with the ones which I found was which I liked, or which was very interesting for me. First, a small detail that your background kind of like was kind of connecting to your speech when you talk about technology, and I kind of see your background. It somehow for me it made a connection. I don't know if it was like intentional or not, but that's a good touch. Whenever you're giving an online speech, and also that I like that the median when at a specific part you said that. I believe you had a good usage when you said connecting from phone to life, which I felt was nice. Given your speech, this one evaluation or the objective is playing with language, right? A good usage of language. I think that was a very good thing. And coming to things which I felt you could have improved is that there were a lot of grammatical errors. Like at one point, I believe you said I don't communicate or something along those lines. I didn't get the exact sentence, but they were like little grammatical errors here and there. It wouldn't be a big thing in a normal speech, but given your current evaluation of the speech level, that is important that you have a good usage of the language. And also, one more thing is that you told us a lot about technology and all that, but I felt like, as our first evaluator said, the connection to bring it back, you should always bring it a full circle. So it's like watching a movie. You want to bring it to a full circle so we have a satisfaction that it has ended in a good tone. But apart from that, I really loved your speech and I look forward to your future speeches. Once again, congratulations. And let me move on to a speaker two. That would be Toastmaster Saroj. And evaluating our first evaluator is going to be Toastmaster Mamta Jain. Okay. So let me introduce Toastmaster Mamta Jain. She brings with her a unique blend of creativity, logic, and being both a visual designer and an engineer. The rare combination that shapes a perspective, allowing her to tackle challenges with imaginative flair and analytical precision. With this intro itself, we can know our next evaluator is going to come with a bang and going to give us a lot of improvements and feedback to our speaker. Over to you, Toastmaster Mamta.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rahul. Toastmaster Saroj, congratulations on choosing such a thoughtful and inspiring topic, self-influence. From the very beginning, you captured our attention by addressing something we all can relate to, the power of our own thoughts and actions in shaping our lives. With your confident presence and was rich with clear examples that highlighted how self-discipline, positive thinking, and personal choices influence our success. Your structure was clear and easy to follow, and your voice carried warmth, which made the audience feel connected. Now, moving to a few recommendations. To make your speech even more impactful, I would encourage you to work a little more on the overall flow. Some of your hand gestures were not fully visible because of the camera placement. Adjusting the camera angle will ensure your gestures are clearly seen. The lighting seemed to come from above, creating shadow on your face. Front-facing lighting would make your expressions more visible and engaging. Try to position yourself at the center of the frame. This will help maintain better balance and focus on you as the speaker. Adding more poses at the key moments will give the audience time to absorb your message and increase the overall impact of your delivery. These small refinements will add greater polish to your delivery. In conclusion, you delivered a meaningful and inspiring speech on the topic that is highly relevant to everyone. Your assiduous preparation, calm and confident delivery, combined with the clarity of your message, made it very effective. With a few refinements in camera framing and poses, this speech has a potential to become truly outstanding. I thoroughly enjoyed listening to you, and I look forward to more of your speeches in the future. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Applause for our evaluator, Toastmaster Mamta. So before I give my feedback, Toastmaster Mamta, is your first time like being the evaluator?
No, second time.
Okay. Okay, so when it comes to GOAT meeting, one of the things that we follow is dual evaluators. Well, coming to that, the first evaluator focuses on the flow of the speech, and the second evaluator focuses on how the speech was given. While I do appreciate it, and it's wonderful that you captured both the elements, it is recommended that you always focus on how the speech went. While it was good in the first half of your evaluation, you went around and told us like how the flow of the speech was and everything. But coming to the second part, that's something that we can always leave it to our second evaluator, because that's where the second evaluator comes and he or she would like tell us like how the meeting visually like felt. But a good evaluation, Toastmaster Mamta, and again a round of applause for you as well. Now let me
Thank
move on
you.
to our second evaluator. That would be Toastmaster Sachin Jaiswal. A little bit about Toastmaster Sachin is that he's also a financial professional with over 23 years of experience across IT, healthcare, biotech startups, retail, e-commerce, and FMGG sectors. Wow, we do have a lot of wonderful, huge players in our meeting today. I would like to cut short and give a stage to Toastmaster Sachin so he can evaluate our speaker.
Thank you, G. Rahul, for a kind introduction, and congratulations to Toastmaster Saroj for a great speech. I must say it was a great speech. I mean, delivered with a lot of beauty and smile. And you started with a smile. That was the one thing which I noticed. And the first, and you when you the in the intro you asked a question, what is self-influence? That's a great way to connect with the audience. And then you defined also what is self-influence. That was great. Now in the body, you mentioned areas where you exercise self-influence. Some of the areas were fitness regime, spirituality, and then parenting, where you have to be a role model for your kids, and then cooking, where you need to cook for your kid under a lot of pressure. Then balancing a job, where you have to balance a job which is both independent and dependent on your support system. And then hobbies. So all these areas you explain how you exercise self influence to make yourself better, to deliver to the that extra notch. That's what you have taken us through in the body section. And in the conclusion, you have challenged everyone to exert more, so that we can all achieve extraordinary result. But so that's beautifully brought. Now, some of the areas where you excelled at. You started with a smile and you were calm throughout the speech. That was really good. I liked your confidence. Very good. Then uh, your content was good and there was a logical flow to it. It was flowing very smoothly. That was really great. Then some of the areas of improvement, your vocal variety could have been better. When you said that you are balancing a job, independent, dependent, then you could have used your vocal variety much better way. I was balancing my job, independent and dependent on my support system, something like that. Then it would have been made more impact. Then in the intro, you started with a question, but you could have picked some members in the audience who could, so that and then that you could have connected very well with the audience then. So you could have asked the question and then pick some of the audience, and then that could have really, you would have really connected very well. And in the body, when you're discussing, giving examples, you could have given me some anecdotes, some stories, that how you have used your self influence to make it more effective. Some real life example would have made it would have taken it to a different level. Apart from, and at the end, I will say you are successfully influencing us. A great speech, and keep it up, Toastmaster Saroj. Over to you, G. Rahul.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sachin, and a round of applause for our second evaluator as well. You did a wonderful job, summarizing the gesture part of the speaker and what could have been done good and what could have been done wrong. So let me come back to the my entirety evaluation of the speaker itself. Toastmaster Saroj, you started with a bang. You said that here's something that I do, which none of you guys do. That had me very hooked up. I get up early in the morning, I do my running, I go to gym, I do all these self-care stuff. That was a wonderful kind of starting a speech. Also, another thing is that in the ending of all these, your self care and self influence, you also gave us a challenge saying that, why don't you guys go out and do this? I've done my job and all that. We don't see a lot of speakers boldly come out and say that, I've done this, you go out and do this. That's something which you did amazing at. Just a few couple of recommendations which I would like to give you is that a little bit of technical difficulties when we give an online speech is okay, but throughout the entirety of speech, if you go back and rewind it, is that I don't know if it was just me, I'm guessing it was not just me, is that your entire video itself was like so lagging behind. We could hear you, but we couldn't see you properly because your hands just were all like very motion blurred. It was throughout the entire speech. And this is something which I believe you could have fixed it if you could have joined a little bit earlier in the meeting and done a proper video and audio check, right? That's one thing which you can always take into account and see if you can work on that technical aspects of a speech. And the second is that even though you told a lot of things about yourself, it was amazing to hear, but it felt like you haven't connected those dots. You told, I do this. It felt like you were giving a report to us, which was wonderful to hear. But also at the end of the time, it would be nice if you could give us a beautiful story, like where you can put all these things in and then be like, I've done my part, this is me right now. I would give a chance to you guys, go out there and do this. Overall, I loved your speech, and please let's give a round of applause to our second speaker as well, Toastmaster Saroj. I would like to see your future speeches as well. Now, let us go on to a
Uh,
final speaker. That would be Toastmaster Swati.
Toastmaster Rahul, just one small announcement.
Mhm.
In case the meeting comes to an abrupt end, there is some technical thing that is going on, and it is showing that it will come to an end after a few minutes. Please rejoin the meeting with the same link, and we'll continue.
Okay. So,
Thank you.
oh, we already see our second evaluator is ready after hearing that message. So, let me go on to our next evaluator. That'll be Toastmaster Ritu. Let me introduce Toastmaster Ritu. She is an image consultant, personal branding coach, grooming and etiquette expert, a passionate yoga teacher, a former hotelier with sales background, and past president of the Gabbys Toastmasters Club. She believes that a well groomed outer persona coupled with superior interpersonal skills is a winning combination in any field. Over to you, Toastmaster Ritu.
Thank you, General Evaluator Rahul. Toastmaster Swati. Small steps, big results. Great idea, relevant to all of us present in this room. You opened your speech very well. You started with a rhetorical question, which you answered yourself, which is called hypophora, which was nice. It's always good to start like that to engage the audience and get attention. But it's your speech, so only you have to answer it. So good start there, good thinking. Then you went on to explaining the relevance of consistency in life and in whatever you take on your life goals, which was nice. And you brought in some really good examples to back that up from ABCD, why one is so affluent with the language, because you've been practicing and you're consistent. Then you also mentioned about the mathematical formula, which I couldn't catch on to, but I'm sure it was right, and it is applicable and relevant. It would be nice if and it will come to that. Then the third thing was you also brought in the example from your own personal life, the art, where you started and where you are today. So kudos on that. You brought in some really good examples to set the tone and set the basic core of what you were trying to convey, consistency. Now, my job is to tell you how to elevate it to the next level. And here it goes. When you started by thanking the team on, that's not required. Very quickly, erase that out of your script. Just start with a powerful question. How many of you are scrolling? How many of you scroll? Whatever your question, just make it crisp and powerful. Then I saw one more thing. It was an overused word, which was right. You use that word a lot. So maybe you want to relook at that. And more importantly, I also wanted to hear some more stories from your personal life to be able to understand the word, what the relevance of consistency. Of course, you brought in that art aspect, but one more story, a little more powerful, just to set the tone, to really make that message absolutely clear. Another point I wanted to mention is the word consistency was overused in the whole script. If you want to bring in some other words, maybe exhibit regularity, some other words, just brings in more interest it brings in a lot more variation and interest for the listener. So all in all, those are my little points, and I hope you can incorporate those and those are helpful, and I'm sure your next speech will be next level. Thank you and good luck to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ritu, for your detailed evaluation. You covered pretty much everything and well and above. I don't have much to add on to it. Just one thing which I would like to tell to all our participants is that if we lose our connection right now, please do join back. I think we might lose in a minute or something. But in the meantime, let me bring on to our second evaluator. That would be Toastmaster Gauri Agarwal.
Toastmaster Rahul, can we resume after a second? The
Yeah,
meeting
sure.
is going to end now.
Yeah, sure. We can just wait for the
Yes.
thing to get closed till that time.
Yeah, I think we can resume now. Like it's going on, so let's go. Go ahead. It didn't stop.
Right. Thank you for letting me know that, Toastmaster Renu. So, uh, so next evaluator is going to be Toastmaster Gauri. So, I believe we have Toastmaster Gauri in the meeting. Okay, I see now. Okay, let me introduce Toastmaster Gauri. Toastmaster Gauri is a chartered accountant turned image consultant and soft skills trainer. She is helping companies address people management challenges, and as a leadership trainer and life coach, she guides transformation journeys through a rebrand self. She also incorporates tarot as a tool for self awareness and personal growth. Over to you, Toastmaster Gauri.
Toastmaster Swati, when your evaluator is a chartered accountant just like you, it's a match made in heaven. But on a more serious note, first of all, congratulations on completing your project. I'm going to dive straight into the message of your speech, which was practice and consistency, and that will lead to all big results. Now, something about your speech told me your conviction in the message, and that was the strong and powerful voice that you used. You were smiling and nodding incessantly, which also told me how much you believe in the speech. And whenever you were giving a reaction, what that did was it was making me smile as well. There was a portion in your speech when you spoke about how many times did we have to do homework and classwork in school, and you were frowning, communicating irritation. All of us have gone through it, all of us have lived it, and all of us related to it. I found myself frowning with you. So kudos to you on giving those expressions. Now, I want to bring to you 2 points which are important in public speaking. That is, what are the rules of public speaking? The first is 55% of all your communication is body language. And what that does is it helps the audience to go along with you in your speech as you're going. And the second one, there is something about showing your hands when you're talking. It communicates trust because the reason is that you're trying to say, I'm harmless, I don't have any weapons. Now, this is what brings me to the recommendation. You were just sitting. There were some expressions coming on the face, but I could not see any hand movements happening. Now, this was a very relatable speech, and the way you narrated it was like a casual chat, which was beautiful. But how about just throwing your hands in the air randomly? It would have attracted attention even more. There was a portion where you spoke about when you do it the third time, the fifth time, the 10th time. How about emphasizing it with gestures? The third time, the fifth time, and the 10th time with pauses. That impact again is very strong because we relish things visually first. So, all in all, it is a beautiful blend of confidence and authenticity for me. I'm sure if you work a little bit on your gestures, and it's going to be an assiduous effort, but it's going to make you an impactful speaker. I wish you all the best for your journey.
A round of applause for our second evaluator, Toastmaster Gauri, as well. Toastmaster Gauri, I believe you covered pretty much everything that I had my mind. Coming to a speaker, Toastmaster Swati, this is just like a few things which I can tell from my end. First thing was a small thing detail is that you incorporated in the beginning of your speech our educational speakers. I believe one of the quotes. I believe that's a very good skill, and you can work on it because having a situational awareness and modifying a speech on stage is a good skill. And just a second thing is that at times I believe you spoke too fast. I believe it could either come out of nervousness or anxiety. At times like that, just take a small pause, take a breather for yourself and, take a moment and continue with your speech. But apart from that, I loved your speech and I look forward to your future speeches here as well. Thank you. And so now let me come to my general evaluation of the entire meeting. But before that, just a minute. Let me call upon the timer and ask the timer to give the report on our evaluators and the speakers as well.
Thank you, General Evaluator Rahul. I'm sorry, am I supposed to tell individual timings of speakers?
I mean, you can either do that, or if you have a report of the timings, you can just share your Excel sheet as well. Either one works. Or you can also tell, in the interest of time, you can just tell who's disqualified, since we are going over abroad the time. You can just tell us who's qualified and who's not qualified.
No, so there are no disqualifications. All the speakers, the prepared speech speakers, as well as the evaluators, were within the slotted time windows itself.
Okay, got it. And also, if you do have the Excel sheet, you can also share it in the in the chat box so our speakers and evaluators can go through it.
Absolutely. Okay.
Right. Thank you, Toastmaster Chitranga. Can we have a huge round of applause for our timer as well for doing a very wonderful job of the meeting?
Thank you.
Now, let me go on to our language evaluator. Can we please have our language evaluator on stage and
Uh, Thanks, General Evaluator Rahul. I just shared the screen. It shows like post disable the participants. Can you please enable
yeah,
so that I can share my screen?
can someone confirm if Toastmaster Michael has the permission
Yeah,
to
I'll
share?
just share that. Sure.
Thank you.
He has that.
Okay.
Can you share?
I think you can
Yes,
share.
yes. Now I am able to use. Okay. So hope you are able to see my screen.
Yes.
These are the couple things which I have collected today, and certain repetitive words, and the people those who have used the assiduous, the word of the day. Uh, so Ritu Jaj, Rao Swami, Mamta Jain, Swati Gupta, Gauri Agarwal, and yeah, these are the people. And there are some repetitive words and the noteworthy phrases as well. Yeah. So that's all. Back to you, Digital Evaluator. Rao.
Thank you for that wonderful report, Toastmaster Joshua. Just one feedback towards your role would be that you can always let us know like which speaker has or which Toastmaster has exceeded the the number of let's say our counters or even the number of extra words, and rest all things you can just share it in the file. But apart from that, thank you for doing a wonderful job and capturing almost everything of what our speakers today spoke. Thank you. And let me call upon our my last team member. That would be the listener, and that would be Toastmaster Jay. The stage is all yours.
Okay, so since we are short on time, I'll ask only 3 to 4 questions. I would ask the question who is related to refrain from speaking, giving others the chance. Okay, so question one, what does Toastmaster Sachin Jaiswal describe as the treasure beyond currency?
Karma.
Karma.
Yeah, that's right. I believe it was Toastmaster Ritu George.
Renu as well. We
Okay.
both spoke at the same time.
All right, Toastmaster Reno as well. The next question was, what are the 3 stages of investor lifestyle? And addition to that, what are the name of the 3 stages?
20 to 35, 35 to 60, and then beyond that, 60 and above. And then what was your second question?
What are the name of the stages? Um, all right.
Accumulation, consolidation, distribution, I'm not sure.
It was accumulation, stage of change, and stage of retirement. But very good attempt, and I think you remembered the each stamps. So kudos to you for that. Third question: what does Toastmaster Swati Gupta? What is the quote mentioned by her? It was a mathematical quote. Yeah.
1 power 365 equals to 1. 1.01 power 365 equals to 37.
Yeah, that's right. Nice. Should I take one more question or
Yes,
ask one
please.
more question?
Just one. Can go for the last one.
All right. How does Toastmaster Saroj Rathod start her day?
Running.
Yoga.
Meditation,
That's not
making
right.
lunch.
Meditation.
Yoga
Meditation
and
or
meditation.
yoga.
That's right. All right. So you have all mostly been listening to the meeting, so that's nice. Congrats. Back to you, general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jay. And is it your first time picking up a role in a meeting?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Congratulations for picking up your first role. You did a wonderful job. Just one tiny feedback is that, like next time when you ask huge equations, everyone is not into AI and machine learning language. So it's going to be pretty tough for most of us go to tell the entire equation in its format. But apart from that, it was fun listening to your questions and thank you. Please keep picking up more roles in the future as well. Now, in the interest of time, I'll just cut short my entire evaluation of the meeting itself. Let me start with as a sergeant at arms. It's always a pleasure to listen to Toastmaster Priya Singh, open the meeting with her wonderful poetry. And as usual, she opened today's meeting at 7:30 sharp, bang on. So kudos to that. And coming to our presiding officer also did a wonderful job, in doing the intro and what Toastmasters is all about. Only one thing which I felt was missing was that, I believe she didn't pick up any volunteers or ask any Toastmasters or any new guest. But I'm guessing at that time no one had joined from what I saw. But apart from that, kudos to our presiding officer as well for doing a wonderful job with her role. Now, coming to our Toastmaster of the day. Before I do that, Toastmaster Rahul Swami, is this your first time picking up the role as the Toastmaster of the day? Okay.
This
This is
one.
your first time? Okay, fine then. A wonderful job you did, a wonderful team, which went amazingly well with our educational, first part of our meeting, that is our educational speaker, that is Treasures Beyond Currency. What a wonderful way to start a meeting. Everything went well. You started telling us, you banged on, first thing you asked us was give us your example, and you pointed to the audience members and asked us, and you are at the members in the meeting going on. It was a back and forth conversation, which is a very good way as a Toastmaster of the day. You engage the members in the meeting. But a couple of recommendations which I would give you now, but I'll connect with you later and give you a full formed evaluation on what can be done better. Two things, like if you're the Toastmaster today, one thing you have to always remember is that your theme of the day should not become a monologue. You shouldn't start giving a speech. Rather than it should be more of engaging the audience and making sure everyone is, into the meeting. Whenever you see people not on camera, you can always at times, ask them and, be like, hey, I would like to see your wonderful faces, and pick up people and, start talking to them. That's pretty much what your role should be. And the second most important thing, which I felt you could have done better is, as moving on, I understand it's your first time. Just try to understand the meeting flow. It's fine, we all make mistakes, but at least have a general idea of what things are. But apart from that, it was amazing for you to pick up such a huge role and at a club like GOT and do it an amazing job. So I would like to give our applauses and our congratulations to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Rahul Swami. And so I believe pretty much our speakers and evaluation is already done. Just one thing which I felt could have been done better is that our preparation before the meeting this time was I would say was not at our best, and this is the first time where I felt I had so much of issues, correcting information itself. One of the things which I would like to tell is that we have a docs format, right, and it's always useful to put our speakers information over there. So whoever it is, either the evaluator or the general evaluator, we don't need to keep going through the each evaluation kind of role, and it is kind of we need to keep searching and all that. So let's not do that, and let's please keep full detail of our members and our whoever is participating in the meeting in a detailed format. Also, one small thing is that whenever we have a distinguished Toastmaster in the meeting, it's very important that we mention that in our files as well, so we don't make the mistake of calling them a Toastmaster, because they have done everything to earn that title. But apart from that, it was bang on, and I enjoyed coming back to the meeting after a long time. You can see me with the beard and all that. It's been a long time from that itself. So enjoyed with speaking to all of you guys, and it was a wonderful meeting. I enjoyed it, and I would like to give the stage back to our presiding officer, I believe, or is the Toastmaster of the day?
Yeah, Toastmaster of the day.
Okay, that's the first time I did a mistake. Toastmaster of the day, the stage is all yours.
Thank you very much, fellow elevator Rahul. And yeah, I think we have reached the uh, time to end the meeting, but I would like to just conclude by telling you uh, and asking you that which things you are going to do, uh, which are going to be the treasures which you cannot earn from the currency. So one is service, second is adventure, third is building a community, making a craft, and building or forming better bond with your family or your wellness or self growth. Anything which you feel that uh, you know you are lacking in this area, and maybe sometime I'll tell my personal story, but we are already over the you know we are already reaching the time to close the meeting. So just wanted to thank you all for being here, and uh, yeah, so these are the forms of wealth which cannot be bought from uh, you know money. Over to you, presiding officer.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Rahul Swami. A big round of applause. I know this is a very big role to pick up, but remember always that Toastmasters is a safe place to come, learn, make mistakes, learn from that, take the evaluation, and become better and stronger each day. Kudos to you that you have taken up this role. I want to see you again taking up such roles and coming back. Thank you, our general evaluator, Toastmaster Rahul, for coming back after quite some time. We always want to see you in our meetings. Coming to our listener of the day, I would definitely like to get a feedback from you. How was your experience in taking up the role for the first time? Toastmaster Jay?
Uh, yeah, I was very nervous before the meeting and I had connection issues also during the meeting. I was continuously lagging, but I guess it worked out. Uh, yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah. And you felt we all had heard the speeches and evaluations properly? It's
I
a little
almost
different.
glad. Yeah.
It's a little different from what usually happens in colleges. Yeah, and we heard it and we answered you. Yes, you were nervous. It's quite natural. But I'm very sure you will come back and you will pick up roles again. I can see Toastmaster Pratibho. Pratibho, you were there in the meeting for the whole session. I could see you. Have you picked up a role as yet?
I plan to pick up a role in the next meeting.
Okay. So, Toastmaster Renu, you have one person who is ready to pick up a role. So, you
Yes.
can put him in the roster. How did you like the meeting?
I like the meeting very much. I'm still new to this environment, and I'm learning slowly about the dynamics between the speakers and the roles. And I wish to contribute fruitfully to this
Yes.
endeavor. Thank you.
Definitely. Please do attend all the meetings. You will come to know about what goes on in a Toastmasters meeting and how you can contribute. You know, we as human beings, we make all these machines, but technology has a very good way to just remind us kindly knock at our doors and say, suddenly the meeting is going to end. And what do we do as human beings? Panic. Immediately there will be a message to the GE, please, the meeting is ending, please. Immediately I'll be jumping in to say that, if it closes down, please join again. And what does the meeting do? Nothing. The end time is shown, it crosses, and nothing happens. The meeting doesn't close down. And I think so. The technology aspect of it is just smiling and saying, human beings, sometimes we can also have fun. Coming back, do we have any other guests here? No, I don't see any other guest who can. Uh, speakers also have done. Yes, Toastmaster Rahul, would you like to share your experience of taking up this role for the first time?
Yeah, it was wonderful taking a TMO role, and I think it is one of the uh, most important role to set up the meeting structure and keep everything in time. And yeah, I would going forward learn to uh, make it a better role and learn the best practices from all of you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Definitely pick up roles, pick up more. The more roles you pick up, and don't worry, we all have been through this journey. All of us have taken up TMOD for the first time, being very frightened about what we are going to do, and not finding the right words, or sometimes, we speak too much out of nervousness. But that is the beauty, we can come back over and over again and make sure that we are getting better each time. So now is the time for all of us waiting for it. Who is the best speaker of today? Who is the best evaluator? And we have the best speaker as, you know what? We have a tie. And it is Prapurna and Saroj. Both of them have got the best speaker. Big round of applause to both our speakers. And evaluators. Yes, this is a first for this meeting. Again, there is a tie. Keep on wondering who it is. Best auxiliary role taker is our listener, Jay. Toastmaster Jay, congratulations. And best evaluator is, of course, Toastmaster Smriti and Toastmaster Gauri Agarwal. Congratulations to all the winners. And favorite role taker. Who is that? From the big three role. That is our general evaluator of the day, Toastmaster Rahul B. Congratulations. With this, we come to an end to another of the GOATS meeting. See you next Saturday at 10 a.m. for Gabby's meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. See you there. Bye bye. Good night and take care.